Hello students, welcome in our next video 4.1 History of Novel. See the next point. First novel of the world. See, what is the first novel of the world? The name of the novelist is Murasaki Shikibu and the name of his novel is The Tale of Genji. See, it is a name of a novel, The Tale of Genji, and that novel is written by Murasaki Shikibu and that novel is published in 1010. See, जगातलं सगळ्यात पहिलं नॉवेल याच्यावर क्वेश्चन विचारू शकतायत. मे बी फॉर फिल इन द ब्लँक्स, मे बी फॉर मॅच द पेअर्स. ओके, व्हॉट इज द नेम ऑफ द नॉवेलिस्ट? मुरासाकी शिकिबू. नॉवेलिस्टचं नाव काय, लेखकाचं नाव काय तर मुरासाकी शिकिबू. आणि त्याच्या नॉवेलचं, त्याच्या कादंबरीचं नाव काय आहे? द टेल ऑफ गेंजी. इट इज द नेम ऑफ अ नॉवेल अँड दॅट नॉवेल इज पब्लिश्ड इन 1010. ओके, कीप इन माइंड. नाउ सी द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट. युरोपियन नॉवेल. व्हॉट इज द नेम ऑफ अ नॉवेल? See the pronunciation. Don Quixote. What is the pronunciation? Don Quixote. This novel is written by Miguel de Cervantes. Miguel de Cervantes is a Spanish writer and that's why the pronunciation of his novel is Don Quixote. Understand? It is a European novel written by a Spanish writer. The name of the writer is Miguel de Cervantes. That novel is published in 2 parts. Understand? And that novel is published between 1605 to 1615. Okay. Miguel de Cervantes नावाचे स्पॅनिश रायटर आहेत. त्यांनी लिहिलेल्या नॉवेलचं नाव काय आहे? डॉन किहोते. अँड दॅट नॉवेल इज पब्लिश इन 2 पार्ट्स. त्याचं पब्लिकेशन कसं झालेलं आहे तर 2 पार्ट्स मध्ये झालेलं आहे अँड इट इज बिटवीन 1605 टू 1615. ओके, नाउ सी द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट. चेंजेस taken place in 18th century. 18व्या शतकामध्ये लिटरेचरमध्ये झालेले बदल, वाङ्मयामध्ये, मोस्टली और पर्टिक्युलरली इन इंग्लिश लिटरेचर. व्हॉट वेअर द चेंजेस टेकन प्लेस इन 18th century? द फर्स्ट चेंज, सी, इंडस्ट्रियल रिव्होल्यूशन. इंडस्ट्रियल, औद्योगिक क्रांती. औद्योगिक क्रांती घडून आलेली आहे. As well as the appearance of newspaper and magazines. See, newspapers and magazines appeared in 18th century and it was the greatest changes taken place in 18th century. The first one is industrial revolution. There was an industrial revolution as well as the newspapers and magazines were introduced. Understand? It was one of the most important change taken place in 18th century. 18व्या शतकामध्ये बरेचसे लिटरेचरमध्ये, वाङ्मयामध्ये बरेचसे चेंजेस घडून आलेले आहेत. त्यातला सगळ्यात महत्वाचा इम्पॉर्टंट असा चेंज कोणता आहे तर इंडस्ट्रियल रिव्होल्यूशन. औद्योगिक क्रांती घडून आलेली आहे. त्याचबरोबर न्यूजपेपर्स आणि मॅगझिन्स 18व्या शतकामध्ये इंट्रोड्यूस झालेले आहेत, अपियर्ड झालेले आहेत. ओके, सो व्हॉट हॅपन बिकॉज ऑफ दिस न्यू चेंज? दॅट मिडल क्लास अट्रॅक्ट्स टू इट. हू वेअर द रीडर्स ऑफ न्यूजपेपर्स अँड मॅगझिन्स in 18th century? Mostly the middle class people were attracted towards it. Understand? So in 18th century for newspapers and magazines they got the readers from middle class. Understand? And see what happened. Greek romances dominated for 1000 years. See, before 1000 years or for 1000 years, Greek romances were dominated in English literature. Understand? Greek romances was most important part in English literature. Greek romances means what? We saw previously that 2000 years ago in 2nd and 6th century, 2nd to 6th century, the novels were appeared there. Understand? The novels were presented there, but they were in poetry form. Understand? In 2nd to 6th century, the novels were in poetry form, but afterwards, what we saw in 18th century, the novels appeared in prose form. Understand? So in 2nd and 6th century, it means that before 2000 years, the Greek romances were there and they dominated in English literature. Dominate, प्रभुत्व होतं. Greek romances प्रभुत्व होतं लिटरेचरवर. But afterwards, when newspapers and magazines were introduced, at that time the middle class attracted towards the new forms and ideas. And what were the new forms and ideas? These magazines, these newspapers were the new forms and ideas. So the middle class people attracted towards the papers, towards the magazines. Understand? So in the 18th century, the need of new type of literature arose. And what was the need of the readers of 18th century? They need the new type of literature. And what was the new type of literature? Newspapers, magazines, or the novels in prose forms. Understand? And so these are the new changes taken place in 18th century, and that's why the novel, which was the new form of literature, that novel become famous in 18th century. Got it? Now see the next point. What is the next point? Subjects of novel. See, now what were the subjects of novel in 18th century? Means on what subjects the writer or the novelists of 18th century wrote their novels on. See, what were the subjects? The first one is social, second one is political, third one is cultural, and fourth one is scientific progress. Social, samajik, political, rajakiya, cultural, सांस्कृतिक, and scientific progress means वैज्ञानिक प्रगती. सो सामाजिक आहे, राजकीय आहे, सांस्कृतिक आहे आणि विज्ञान या विषयांवर त्यावेळच्या नॉवेलिस्टने लिखाण केलेलं आहे किंवा त्यांच्या ज्या नॉवेल्स होत्या, त्यांच्या ज्या कादंबऱ्या होत्या या विषयांवर होत्या. सो व्हॉट वेअर द सब्जेक्ट्स ऑफ नॉवेल? सोशल, पॉलिटिकल, कल्चरल अँड सायंटिफिक प्रोग्रेस. अंडरस्टँड? Now see the next point. Important literary works and writers in 18th century. See, 18th century 18व्या शतकामध्ये जे इम्पॉर्टंट लिटररी वर्क्स होते आणि 18व्या शतकातील महत्वाचे लेखक, रायटर्स. सी what were the important literary works and the writers in 18th century? The first one is Pilgrim's Progress. It is a name of a novel. It published in 1678 and it is written by John Bunyan. John Bunyan is a name of a writer and his work, his novel. What is the name of a novel? Pilgrim's Progress. That novel is published in 1678. Now, second one is Oronoku. It is published in 1688 and written by Aphra Behn. Third one, Robinson Crusoe and Moll Flanders. These are the names of two novels written by one writer. The name of a writer is, or the name of a novelist is Daniel Defoe. See, what are the names of the novels? Robinson Crusoe and Moll Flanders, written by Daniel Defoe. Next one is Gulliver's Travels. It is a name of a novel. नॉवेलचं नाव काय आहे? Gulliver's Travels. And this novel is a famous satire. Satire म्हणजे उपरोधात्मक असं लिखाण केलेलं आहे, सटायरिकल नॉवेल आहे. अँड दॅट नॉवेल इज रिटन बाय जॉनथन स्विफ्ट. जॉनथन स्विफ्ट इज अ नेम ऑफ अ रायटर, इट इज अ नेम ऑफ अ नॉवेलिस्ट. या नॉवेलिस्टने लिहिलेल्या नॉवेलचं नाव काय आहे? गलिव्हर्स ट्रॅव्हल्स. आणि गलिव्हर नावाचे कॅरेक्टर आहे, त्या कॅरेक्टरने प्रवास केलेले आहे. या प्रवासामध्ये त्याला आलेले जे अनुभव आहेत ते अनुभव जॉनथन स्विफ्ट यांनी डिस्क्राईब केलेले आहेत. आणि हे अनुभव म्हणजे अगदीच लेखन जे केलेलं आहे ते कसं आहे? सटायरिकल. मीन्स सटायरिकल म्हणजे काय? ते आपल्या मनाला पटत नाहीये, पण त्याबद्दलचं लिखाण जॉनथन स्विफ्ट यांनी गलिव्हर्स ट्रॅव्हल्स मध्ये केलेलं आपल्याला दिसून येते. द नेक्स्ट नॉवेल इज पॅमेला, or it is also called as Virtue Rewarded, and the next novel is Clarissa. Both are the epistolary novels. Now, what is epistolary novel? We will see afterwards. When we will see the types of novels, in that video we will come to know what is epistolary novels. Now see, Pamela, the name of that novel, you can see that novel is also called as Virtue Rewarded. So this one and the next novel is Clarissa. Both the novels are written by Samuel Richardson. And see, Henry Fielding, Lawrence, Tobias Smollett, all these are the famous novelists of 18th century. 18व्या शतकामध्ये जे काही फेमस नॉवेलिस्ट आहेत, प्रसिद्ध नॉवेलिस्ट आहेत, प्रसिद्ध असे कादंबरी लिहिणारे जे लेखक आहेत, त्यामध्ये आणखीन नावं तुम्ही सांगू शकता. हेनरी फिल्डिंग आहेत, लॉरेन्स, टोबियस स्मॉलेट. सो सी, कीप इन माइंड ऑल द नेम्स ऑफ दीज वर्क्स अँड देअर writers, they are novelists also. These names will help you to write down the question answers. या भागावर क्वेश्चन्स विचारले जाऊ शकतात. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, कधीतरी तुम्हाला फिल इन द ब्लँक्स साठी येऊ शकत आहेत, कम्प्लीट द स्टेटमेंट साठी येऊ शकतो, मॅच द पेअर्स साठी येऊ शकतो. काही वेळेला तुम्हाला ए कॉलम मध्ये सपोज नेम्स ऑफ नॉवेल्स देतील, बी कॉलम मध्ये नेम्स ऑफ रायटर्स किंवा नॉवेलिस्ट देतील आणि तुम्हाला पेअर्स मॅच करण्यासाठी येऊ शकतो. सो कीप इन माइंड ऑल दीज इम्पॉर्टंट लिटररी वर्क्स as well as their writers also. Okay, thank you. The remaining part we will see in our next video.